Yo, what is going on, everybody? As you might have guessed from the title, I'm going to be covering the Frost Warframe today. Frost is our ice guardian sort of character in this game. He's pretty easy to get at the beginning of the game. And, you know, it's kind of, we're in the winter season here up in the northern hemisphere. Of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere, maybe you need some of this in your life to cool you down, because it's getting to about summer right now. But, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Frost. So, starting off, just to talk a little bit about his abilities here. Frost is very focused, of course, around freezing his enemies and slowing them down. So his first ability, wouldn't you know it, is called Freeze. This is going to a single target damage, and it freezes the target in place. You can see with the default stats, it's for about 15 seconds, which is pretty good. His second ability, Ice Wave, is a giant... well, yeah, as it's described, a wave of ice. And this is going to slow down enemies in their path, and you can use it, it's quite a wide area if you have some range mods on. Then, of course, we're going to get into his third ability, which is probably his most used and probably one of his best abilities in his entire kit, is Snow Globe. And this is essentially a giant bubble shield that you may have seen already in your experience on Warframe. This is an excellent utility shield for any objective mission. As you can see, the default statistics of it has 5,000 health, which is really, really nice. And especially if you're going up against certain enemies who don't shoot, like the Infested, for example, Snow Globe is going to be extremely strong because the Infested won't really ever take it down. And of course, it does slow enemies that enter it, and you can't be damaged while you're inside of it if enemies are shooting you from the outside. Frost's last ability is called Avalanche. This is going to reduce the armor of enemies as well as freeze them solid in place for 8 seconds with the default stats. Of course, you can increase this duration, you can increase the damage, you can increase pretty much everything here, as you can see when I show you the stats with the mods that I have equipped. You can see that everything pretty much gets increased. Of course, his passive ability is any melee attacks done to Frost are gonna freeze the enemy in place. I think it's only about a 50% chance, though. It's not like it's not guaranteed every time. And then, of course, obtaining Frost. Frost is gonna be obtainable through the Mars assassination mission, where you're gonna kill Lieutenant Lech Krill. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, this is probably one of the best, like I said, one of the best utility frames at the moment right now. Frost is really, really extremely strong, and I felt it was kind of important to make this video for you newer players because, of course, Frost Prime is going to be unvaulted tomorrow, so as of tomorrow, December 6th, North American time, you will be able to start farming relics again for the beautiful Frost Prime, which I don't have yet, and of course I will be trying to get him in myself as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the build here. So, I went with Rejuvenation for my Aura slot. This is just because it happens to fit. Of course, there are other Aura mods you can use, such as... oh shoot, where is it? Physique, which will give you a ton of extra health. But I'm using Rejuvenation. It's kind of my preferred one. And of course, it doesn't really matter what you put on your Aura slot as long as it fits the polarity to give you those extra slots. Of course, nicely enough, Frost comes with a dash polarity and a D polarity, so this helps you, save a lot of space. So I went with a Constitution in this slot, so to give me some power duration, and then I went with a Steel Fiber because Frost's default armor number is 300, so boosting that all the way up to 630 is going to make him really, really resistant to damage. We added a flow in here, so it's going to give you some more energy to work with, streamline so that your abilities aren't costing so much, stretch to make that bubble a little bit bigger and your abilities go a little bit farther. Intensify is going to give you some strength, that's going to increase your shield on your bubble, that's mostly what that's there for. And then we also want to have continuity for a little bit more duration, and then I threw on a Vitality mod for a huge increase in health. Of course, you can, if you want to, switch out Vitality if you have a Vigor mod, but this is going to be a lot different. So you can see here we have 630 shields and then only 420 health. So I'm going to be running with Vitality for the sake of this video. And without further ado, let's get right into the gameplay. Now, as far as gameplay goes for this video, most of the footage is going to be covering his abilities, especially Snow Globe, Avalanche, and his second ability, Ice Wave. Not so much his first ability, Freeze, although I do use it a little bit in this video. But this is really supposed to highlight how his abilities work and, you know, just how effective you can be while playing as Frost. Another important thing to note about Frost is that every single one of his abilities has, in some form or another, a freeze or a slow. In his Snow Globe ability, this can be found by when enemies enter the globe, they are slowed by quite a bit. And of course, if you have the Chilling Globe augment and you want to throw that in there in place of one of the mods that I used, by all means do that. Chilling Globe is a fantastic mod. And for those of you who don't know how it works, Chilling Globe, if enemies step into his Snow Globe ability, Frost has a 50% chance of freezing them when they do that. Now, like I said, of course, at the beginning of this video, Frost is an extremely useful utility frame that almost any team can really work and synergize with him. I mean, there's no way that he could be bad for a team, right? Yeah, I'll just let that clip speak for itself. And that just about wraps up my video on Frost. Now, of course, I said at the beginning of this video, this is geared towards newer players, so if you found this video helpful or if you just straight up enjoyed this video, please do leave me a like and subscribe for more content. And as always, thank you very much for watching.